All right, so we're going to jump right into it today. We got a really strange story here. Kind of reads like something out of a movie, but it's happening for real in Delhi. Involves a high court judge, Justice Yashwant Varma, and I guess you could say some mysterious money troubles.
Yeah, money troubles is putting it lightly.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't just like a bounce check or a late mortgage payment. We're talking about allegedly burnt currency found at a property linked to this judge. It's the kind of thing that makes you wonder what on earth is going on.
Exactly. You don't just stumble across a pile of burnt cash every day. I mean, what kind of story are we even looking at here? Is this a cover up, an accident, something else entirely? I mean, where did this even come from? Who
Oh.
found this burnt money?
That's part of what makes this so strange. The source of this whole thing is a 25-page report sent directly to the Supreme Court by the Chief Justice of the Delhi High Court himself, Justice Devendra Kumar Upadhyaya. I mean, that's not how these things usually go down.
Yeah, usually you hear about this kind of stuff through rumors and leaks. Not a formal report, straight to the top. What was in this report that made it so explosive?
Well, the report lays out the discovery of this burnt cash. It was found in a storeroom,
Hmm.
somehow connected to Justice Varma's residence, and they even released photos and videos of it like they wanted everyone to see.
Wow, so they're not exactly being subtle about this, huh? I mean, putting those images out there for everyone to see, that's a pretty bold move. It seems like they're trying to send a message.
It certainly raises questions about their intentions, doesn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
why make such a public spectacle of this whole thing unless they were sure they had something big?
Yeah, it's not your typical legal maneuver, but
Yeah.
okay, let's back up for a second here just to make sure we're all on the same page. We're talking about a storeroom, right? So, was this like some hidden vault where Justice Varma was stashing his ill-gotten gains, or what are we picturing here?
Well, not exactly from what I understand. This wasn't exactly a secret bunker or anything like that. It sounds more like a regular storeroom, maybe an outbuilding on the property, something like that. The report doesn't get into too many specifics about the location itself, but it does make it clear that it was linked to Justice Varma's residence.
Okay, so we've got this storeroom, some burnt cash, a formal report to the Supreme Court, and photos splash all over the news. It all sounds pretty damning, but then what happened? How did Justice Varma respond to all of this?
Oh, he came out swinging. He issued a statement straight away, a complete and utter denial of any involvement with this burnt money. He said it's got nothing to do with him, and he even questioned whether the storeroom was actually on his property or not.
Interesting. So he's not just saying, I didn't do it. He's questioning the whole foundation of the accusation. That's a pretty aggressive defense.
It is. And he goes even further than that. He points out that there's no record of this burnt cash being officially seized by anyone. No inventory, no chain of custody, nothing. It's like it just magically appeared in the storeroom, and then they took a few pictures, and that's it.
Okay, that is weird. You'd think if they found something this incriminating, they'd be a lot more careful about documenting everything, making sure they had all their ducks in a row.
Right. You'd expect a formal process, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
A search warrant, a seizure receipt, something to show that this wasn't just some random event. But it seems like none of that happened.
So Justice Varma is basically saying, hold on a minute, you're accusing me of something serious, but you can't even prove you found this money in a legitimate way. That's a pretty strong argument, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. It throws a big wrench in the whole narrative. It makes you question whether this was a sloppy investigation or something else entirely.
Yeah.
And Justice Varma doesn't stop there. He goes on to say that neither he nor his family or even his staff ever saw this burnt cash on the night in question.
Wow, so now we've got multiple people saying they didn't see anything unusual, which really makes you wonder how this whole thing even started if no one noticed a pile of burnt cash lying around. I mean, wouldn't that be kind of hard to miss?
You'd think so, right? I mean, it's not exactly something you just glance over. It just adds another layer of doubt to the whole situation. And Justice Varma makes a good point. He says, look, if there was all this burnt money, wouldn't someone have noticed it?
Mm-hmm.
My daughter was there, my secretary, my staff.
Mm-hmm.
They were all around and no one saw anything.
It definitely makes the whole thing seem a lot less clear-cut than it did at first glance. It sounds like Justice Varma is painting a picture of a rushed investigation with maybe some crucial details missing or maybe even being deliberately overlooked. What do you make of all this?
Well, it's hard to say for sure without all the facts, but it definitely raises some red flags, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, if the authorities were so sure of their case, why wouldn't they have followed proper procedures? Why wouldn't they have made sure they had a solid chain of custody for the evidence? And why would they rush to make this so public without getting all their ducks in a row?
It's almost like they were trying to force Justice Varma's hand. Maybe they thought he'd panic and confess or something, but it seems like they underestimated him. He's not backing down at all.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
And he's making some very valid points about the lack of evidence and the way this whole thing has been handled. It'll be interesting to see how the Supreme Court responds to his arguments.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where this goes from here, but beyond the legal aspects of all of this, this must be taking a huge toll on Justice Varma personally. I mean, his reputation, his career, everything he's worked for is now being called into question. Well,
Absolutely. This is a nightmare scenario for anyone, let alone a high court judge.
yeah.
I mean, his whole life is about upholding the law, and now he's the one being accused of something incredibly serious. It's got to be devastating.
Yeah, and he's been very vocal about how this is impacting him. He keeps saying that his integrity has never been questioned before and that this whole thing is based on speculation and innuendo, not on any real proof.
Which is a fair point.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've built a career on being honest and upholding the law, then being accused of something like this out of the blue, that's got to be incredibly frustrating and damaging, especially when you feel like the evidence against you is so flimsy.
It really makes you think about how quickly a person's reputation can be tarnished, even when there's no real proof. And, this isn't just about Justice Pharma. This kind of thing can erode public trust in the entire justice system.
Absolutely. I mean, if people start to believe that judges can be easily framed or that the legal process is rigged, then the whole system starts to crumble. It's essential that justice is seen to be done fairly and impartially. Otherwise, people lose faith in the whole thing.
So where does that leave us with this case? What happens next? Is this going to go to trial? Is there going to be a full investigation?
Well, it's hard to say for sure at this point, but the fact that the Supreme Court has taken this report seriously enough to make it public suggests that they're not going to just sweep it under the rug. There's going to have to be some kind of follow-up, whether that's a formal inquiry, a deeper investigation, or something else entirely remains to be seen.
And in the meantime, Justice Varma is stuck in this limbo with this cloud hanging over him. That's got to be incredibly stressful, not knowing what's going to happen next, whether he'll be able to clear his name.
Absolutely. And the longer this drags on, the more damage it does to his reputation and to the public's perception of the judiciary. It's a lose-lose situation for everyone involved.
So we've got this bizarre discovery of burnt cash, a judge vehemently denying any wrongdoing, a questionable investigation process, and a whole lot of unanswered questions. It's a real head scratcher. But there's one thing that really bugs me about this whole story. It just doesn't make any sense logically.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. It's like a puzzle where the pieces don't quite fit.
Yeah, I mean, if someone was trying to hide a large sum of money, why would they burn it and then just leave the ashes in a random storeroom? That's not exactly the smartest way to cover your tracks, is it?
It really isn't. It's like they wanted to get rid of the evidence, but they didn't think the plan through very well. Or maybe there's a completely different explanation that we haven't even considered yet.
Right, it's like we're missing a big piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
Something that would make all of this make sense. But until we find that missing piece, we're left with a lot of speculation and a whole lot of doubt.
And that's the danger of a situation like this. When there's so much uncertainty and so many unanswered questions, it's easy for rumors to spread and for people to jump to conclusions, especially when you have a high-profile figure like Justice Varma involved.
And once that damage is done, it's hard to undo. Even if Justice Varma is completely innocent, this whole ordeal is going to leave a stain on his reputation. It's a reminder that perception can be just as powerful as reality sometimes.
It's a cautionary tale for sure. It shows how quickly a narrative can take hold, even when it's based on shaky ground, and how difficult it can be to fight back against those perceptions once they're out there.
Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see how this all plays out. But one thing's for sure, this is a story that's going to keep us all guessing for a while.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's got all the elements of a great legal thriller, mystery intrigue, high stakes, and a whole lot of unanswered questions. It's a reminder that sometimes real life can be just as strange and unpredictable as anything you'd find in fiction.
And it makes you think about all the stories that are happening behind closed doors that we never even hear about, the things that are hidden from view.
It makes you wonder what else is out there. What other secrets are waiting to be uncovered?
That's a thought to leave us with, for sure. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive. It's been a wild ride.
My pleasure. Always happy to delve into these strange and fascinating cases with you.
Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and don't believe everything you hear.
Wise words.